Alright, in this video we are going to talk about lesson 6.3. So lesson 6.3 is talking about finding area, again, like you did in lesson 6.1 and 6.2. However, in this lesson we're going to talk about finding area by multiplying. Alright, so we've done these before, right? You've seen an array. You write a multiplication equation for it by counting how many there are across and how many there are down. So this one has 1, 2, 3 across and 1, 2 down. So your equation would be, whoa, lost my pencil lead. So you count the area. You can find the equation, for an array by doing the length of it times the width of it. So it's 2 times 3, or 3 times 2, right? Because with multiplication, doesn't matter which order you multiply in, equals 6. Okay, so that's how we write an equation for an array. Well, finding area is essentially the same thing. It's length times width. Okay, so in this one, if it was 1, 2, 3 across and 1, 2 down, well, that's the same thing. 2 times 3, 3 times 2. So this has an area of 6 square units. So in your lesson for this week, we're going to be finding area of rectangles using the equation, there it is, length times width equals area. So L times W equals area, length times width. All right, so if they give you a shape like this, you can't count the squares, right? Because there aren't any squares in it. It just gives you how long it is and how wide it is. Well, we know that we multiply across times down, length times width, to find the area. So we would multiply 7 times 3, or 3 times 7, because remember with multiplication it doesn't matter what order. Okay, so 3 times 7, or 7 times 3, gives us 21. Alright, so 3 times 7 is 21, and if you see, it tells you what measurement it's in inches, so we would say 21 inches squared, or square inches. How do they say it? Units squared. But it's silly to say units when they tell you it's in inches. But anyway. Okay, so if it tells you find the area of this rectangle, you can, if it gives you the squares, you can still count the squares if that's easier. Or you count how many are across. There's 1, 2 across, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down. So you do 2 times 5, which equals 10, right? And it's in square centimeters, so you'd say 10 square centimeters. And you can abbreviate centimeter. You can abbreviate square if you want to. It may not have you type it in though. But if you were to abbreviate square, you can write it as just SQ period, CM period, square centimeters. So if you get a shape like this one, where it doesn't give you the squares, you can't count them, so you have to multiply your length and your width 6 times 4 to get your area. So as you go through this lesson, trying to cover up the answers here because they're in the book, you will, they may want you to write out a multiplication problem even if all you have to do is count the squares. So this one would be, it's 4 down and 1 across, so it would be 4 times 1. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down and 1, 2, 3 across, so you do 5 times 3. The computer program may be picky about which order you put them in. It doesn't matter, because when you multiply, you can multiply in either order and get the same number. But if you check your answer and it's telling you it's wrong, just flip your numbers and see if that gets you the right answer. So like this one, so they're doing the down and then the across. So this one they're doing 7 first and then the 6. So 7 times 6 instead of 6 times 7. So, to find area of a rectangle, if it does not give you the squares, if you cannot count, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 squares in this. The way you would find it is your formula, that length times width. Okay? And in the book, the length is the number going down first and then the number going across as the width. So, I believe that is it. They may give you some word problems, okay? If you get word problems, make sure you pay attention and try to find out what information it's asking. So let's do this one together. Your rectangular animal poster is 4 feet long, length, and 1 foot wide, width, 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay. Which poster has a greater area? Your animal poster, so this is the animal, or your space poster. Okay, here's a space poster. It is 3 and 2. Okay, so space 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 2, 4, 6. Alright, so which one has a greater area? Well, the animal poster has an area of 4 feet and 4 square feet, and the space poster has an area of 6 square feet, so your space poster has a bigger area. Okay, so pay attention when you're doing word problems. Make sure you find all the information that it's asking you before you solve the problem. And I believe, let's see, that is it for lesson 6.3. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can rewatch this video if that's helpful. Remember your equation for area, length times width. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. Exciting, huh? Watching me try to get more pencil lead to come out of my pencil. Might be out.
Blooper reel.
Woo!